Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, I thought I'd do a little how to set up the Lighthawk Aero before you fly it. This is going to apply as well for the Double Horse 9100. They're the same helicopter. The remotes look a little bit different, but the knobs are, up top and everything, so they should be, in the same spots. But either way, we're going to give you some basic setups to cover the Lighthawk, and it's going to cover the 9100. So if you're having trouble figuring out how to fly this thing, something's gone out of whack, and it's kind of bugging you, hopefully this video is going to solve that problem for you. Now with this Aero, the one thing I have noticed on this one, and it'll stand for the 9100, is you do have to turn the remote on first. So make sure it's turned on. You'll see that your red light is flashing on the remote. So what you want to do is bring your stick all the way up and then all the way down. That'll sync the remote in. The next thing you want to do is make sure you plug in the power on your helicopter. So we'll bring this into the picture. So make sure your power wire is plugged in. And then you're going to turn the helicopter on. And you should hear this same sound. I'll do it again so you can hear the sound. And you watch the swash plate on your helicopter. Okay. Now this should be relatively silent now. You shouldn't hear anything coming out of it. Now on your left knob here, it's going to control your swash plate movement, okay, for forward and backwards. Now if you have it turned all the way to the left, you're going to hear that sound. You've got it turned too far. So what you want to look for, and what I do, is you'll see a little pin sticking out over on the right hand side of the helicopter where the swash plate moves up and down a set of forks. Okay, and you're going to watch to make sure that looks as if it's as level as you can get it to look anyway. So we'll go to the bottom, go the other way, and we're only going to go so far, and we want to bring it back so it looks like it's sitting level. And that's about as close as you're going to get that one right from the beginning. Now the other thing you're going to want to do, of course, is for your trim at the back. You're going to make sure, no matter which way you turn this dial, that your tail rotor does not come on. Okay, it shouldn't come on. Now I'm going to hold this in my hand, and I'm not going to let it take off on me, but you'll see the rotor isn't spinning right now. You've got to adjust it so it starts to spin, and you'll feel some force there. Okay, it doesn't take a lot. Now you don't want to turn it so it's really running fast, because then you'll feel the torque in your hand. And that torque means it's going to just kick and spin. So you want to just back it off a bit so it feels like it's pretty well balanced for left and right. Now this engine runs on a very high RPM. So even before you take off, it's running very, very fast. Now I've also broken my tail blade at the back, so I've got to order some new ones because it's actually the second one I ate. When you're launching these things, don't launch them from the grass because you will damage your tail blade, as I've done. I like to hand launch this thing because of its size, so I'll just hold it in the palm of my hand, and I'll grip it a little bit, get it to fire up, and then once I'm comfortable with a good RPM speed where I can just feel it start to tug, then I'll let it go and then work the throttle from there. So this is about where it should be sitting now. I'm barely holding the helicopter, and it's staying pretty stable, so it's not trying to buck on me left or right. Now when you hit the stick to go to the right, you can feel it and you can see it. Now when you go to the left, you actually shut the power down to the tail rotor, which will allow the helicopter to spin to the left. Now you want to take this thing in as small increments as possible. They're pretty sensitive controls. Even with your throttle, like that's barely on, right? That's full tilt. You don't want to jump this helicopter right up into the sky, because believe me, she'll gain altitude real fast. Now the range on the 9100 is said to be somewhere around 80 meters. And that's cool, you know, so I'm actually going to think about buying a 9100. The actual range on the Lighthawk is about 70 feet, and I'm still trying to work out the bugs to get some more distance out of it, because 70 feet just balls. But that's the basics on how you set your trims up for your swash plate, which is going to control your forward and backward movement. Okay, so this is a fixed pitch single blade heli. So your tail rotor is now vertical, okay? It's not horizontal, so the tail rotor is what controls your left and right tail movement, okay? And instead of having the blades do the job like on a coaxial. So your movement now is controlled by your blades, your main rotor blade, for your forward and backward, okay? So a little different how to fly this thing. Once you get her going, you know, like I said, start off, get the power going, get a little bit of extra throttle so you know you can get lift off, and feather that throttle. This thing is very responsive. So is the 9100. So it's a lot different than a coaxial. Coaxials will respond in a slower rate than what fixed pitch helis do. These things tend to just like zing, zing, zing type of thing. So you want to take it a little easy on that and feather the controls, and you know, keep your altitude, you know, not too low to the ground but not too high up either. You know, and watch the wind conditions. You don't want to be flying this out, you know, like in the middle of a hurricane or anything, because it ain't going to go anywhere except, you know, up in the sky and stay there. But anyways, hopefully that will solve some issues for you guys. And you know, if you have any other questions or whatever, you know, feel free to ask. I know quite a bit about this helicopter, even though I haven't had it for that long. I've had it apart. I know, you know, what makes it tick and how to adjust some stuff. And you know, so if you have any questions, whatever, no problem. Now, another thing is, you'll find with the Lighthawk, I'm not sure about the 9100, but the Lighthawk only comes with 2 pads, because this thing will tend to want to shoot to the one side on takeoff if you're taking off from the ground. So, you know, like your hand or pavement is great. No grass, leave it out of the grass, at least for takeoffs anyway. But I put 4 on here to really steady it, so this way I could take off at a much more even rate. You know, even from the ground, like from my deck or whatever, it's not going to shoot off so easily on me, having those 4 rubber supports. Now, I had to get these from another helicopter, but I mean, you could probably find the foam material somewhere, drill it out and make your own. It's not that hard to do. But anyway, so that's the video. You got any questions or whatever, feel free to ask, and I'll do the best I can to answer them for you. Till then, see you in the next video.